Wow, wow. Welcome to DogStar. Each week we sit down with a star of hip-hop and R&B, and this week we have the pleasure of sitting down with Ken C. Contagious, the man himself.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. We really appreciate you coming through, man.
Man, I appreciate even being here, man. It's been a long time. I've been asking for y'all for a minute now, But by the faith of God and by the faith of the hip-hop gods, I am here in the flesh. I appreciate you guys.
The stars have finally aligned, and we get
like
to
crazy.
get your story in the archive for all of time. So
Oh my God, yo! Thank you, DogStar. Man, this the stars do align. Hey, that was a great double entendre right there. Ooh, there's gonna be a lot of double entendres today, I guess.
Well, let's start at the beginning. So you're from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
We won't hold that against you.
technically, as my birth certificate say, I'm from the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
So, what my mom says and my grandmother on my dad's side says is like, well, I was born in Chicago, and then in the early before I became one, I moved to Milwaukee. And it was really cold there, which is why I call myself a cold guy.
Hey,
So,
the coat.
I went there in the wintertime, and since then, that's all I've been representing, a Milwaukee, Wisconsin boy.
That's cool. And then, growing up, who was playing music around you before you were old enough to, like, pick the CDs you were listening to?
My aunties, man. I barely had any uncles. You know what I mean? I have uncles
Right.
that I didn't know about per se, but for the most part, it was my mom and her sisters. You know what I mean? She had 3 sisters. My grandmother had four girls, and apparently the husband of hers had 2 boys that I didn't know about. So obviously I had uncles, but I knew only my aunties.
Okay.
So when I was young, I knew all the just that sponge thing. You know how people say, like, when you're like 2, 3, you have those type of like those entities of memories and
Yeah, you just
whatever
absorb
like that.
everything.
Now my memories was like Beastie Boys on the posters and
Okay.
my auntie's walls with the Volkswagen chains and the Benz chains, you know what I mean? All those, and LL Cool J with the radio and the Kango and Rakim over there, and then Biz Markie picking his nose over there, and that was my aunties. They were very, very hip hop prone.
Yeah.
So that's all I knew.
Wow.
You know what I mean? They when they wanted to sit me down to keep a little kid quiet and stop crying, they put me right on the little rocker and put on some videos. And all I watched was rap videos, and that keep me quiet. That's all they said, that keep me quiet, shutting up. If I ain't had the videos on, I would. It's crazy. So, shout out to the 80s people that, kept them videos on TV, the MTV raps, all that kept me quiet. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You know what I mean?
Now, were any of your aunties singers or musicians themselves, or
No,
just fans?
actually, they were just fans.
Wow.
Just fans. But we always made little stage performances for my grandma. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Their mothers. You know what I mean? So it was like, I'm the oldest on both sides of my family, on my mom and my dad's side.
Okay.
So I was the oldest. But for some reason, they always told me, like, before you can talk and before you can crawl, you can always sing whatever's on the TV or whatever. So I've always mimicked everything on the TV, and there'll be like the background singers, and I'll be like the main guy doing, oh, baby, you got what I need. Like, I was just, just the lead singer, and they just be right behind me just doing what they do. So my auntie, shout out to my aunties, man. They kept me in hip hop, you know what I mean? They were just hip hoppers themselves. It's a new thing. I'm an 80s baby.
That's huge.
And then, yeah, they could see that you loved it. You obviously were loving it at home. When school started, did you, like, gravitate toward the music class at all, or?
Not really, because I was really, like, an artsy guy. So, back when I was in school, I used to love graffiti. Now, in Milwaukee, it was graffiti everywhere around my block. And I don't know, for some reason, the north side of Milwaukee, it was always graffiti everywhere. I don't care if it was in a grocery store, a community building, or whatever it was, but they always kept it discreet, but it was still street though. But me watching Yo MTV Raps and all these rap videos with graffiti in the back of them, and then I go outside, go to the store with my mom's or my grandmother or whatever, and then all of a sudden I see a big ass mural right there, just, and I'm just like, mesmerized about the art. And it makes me want to go home and, doodle on the pad and whatever like that. So it was always the graffiti part, you know what I mean? It was something about that, them colors and all that, man. So shout out to the graffiti, the writers and all them, man. Keep the city pretty, you know what I mean?
Did you ever partake? Did you have any tags?
I did pick up a can a few times. Okay. And what I didn't share, I showed this to a couple people, but the first time I saw a dead body when I was 12 years old, because at that time, when I was about like 10 to 12, I used to follow graffiti writers. And they used to be around in around Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. They used to be around everywhere, like in the open, just bombing things. But I never like just, hey guys, what you doing? Or no, I was just like in the back, just got out the bus, and all of a sudden just see him and kind of just like, peeked around, just observing, because usually they'll just run after they just did a piece, because obviously now I know, because they don't want to get caught by the cops. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This is the 90s, you know what I mean? 93, 94, 95. So those made me want to doodle in class and, do bubble letters and all these type of things. But then these type of graffiti artists used to leave their cans on the ground. Okay. So I used to just go pick up the cans, and there'd be still some little paint in there. So I'll go up in there, oh snaps, you know what I mean? Wow. And eventually, I used to go to Menards or Farm and Fleet or Fleet Farm or whatever like that. And it's real crazy. Fun fact, in Milwaukee, now, what do they call it here in Minnesota? Is it Fleet Farm or Farm Fleet?
Fleet Farm.
It's Fleet Farm. Yeah. Now, in Milwaukee, it was Farm and Fleet.
Farm and Fleet, okay.
It was backwards.
Yeah.
So I used to go to Farm and Fleet and still paint.
Okay.
And used to go out and try to do little doodles that I would draw up in my class in like 4th, 5th grade.
Whoa.
And go out and try to like mimic these artists that I used to like. And I still follow them to this day.
Cool.
Right to this day. The crew is called FCR. So shout out to FCR in Milwaukee. Still doing it to this day. One of the guys, his name is Teach, and another guy named Pen Pal. I don't know if they the same guy, but they were like my favorite. I used to mimic them, used to be on the city bus at like 12, 13 years old, see them all over the city, get in my notebook and kind of mimic their little styles, and then go home and do my little style. And my name was Madma, M-A-D-M-A, because I had a mad mom. So my mom was always mad at me or whatever. So I used to call it Mad Ma. Or I used to have this name called Sperm.
Okay.
And the way I wrote it, the S had the in it, and then the M had a. So it was weird. It's the graffiti writers, they'll know the creative. Yeah. Shout out to the graph writers. I was just a hip hop boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, why aren't we interviewing you for your graffiti now? What drew you more to hip hop? What
drew me more because everybody just used to just say, "Bro, you just so dope at rhyming." You know what I mean? And I used to like to airbrush. I used to airbrush people's shoes, put the Nike check as a Reebok sign. It was like, how you put a Nike check with a Reebok sign? I was that dope. Like I used to do murals like of people's faces and like people had RIP. I was about 10, 11, 12 years old doing this.
Okay.
And a guy that used to do it, he was about older than me, 20s, you know what I mean? 25. He used to have a store, little record store / clothes store, and he did the little airbrush thing in Milwaukee. So when I go up there and go visit him, he'd be like, man, come over here, let me teach you something right quick. So he'll teach me how to shade, teach me how to how to press the airbrush, you know what I'm saying? Not too hard, not too soft to get the nice shading, and how to do your little shoes. So I bring my shoes and I bring my cousin's hand-me-downs because my moms couldn't afford Jordans for me.
Right.
So I take the hand-me-downs, go to my guy, airbrush those, and go back to the block. Like, whoa, kid, where you get those from? Like, man, look.
I can't tell you that.
Look, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It was one of those, but it was hip-hop, though, to me, the whole time. The whole time. So, art always been the factor before the rhymes.
Totally.
I was always an artsy guy. People would bring me their pictures. Hey, bro, man, my brother just died, bro. Can you draw this picture for me and put it on the card? Or people used to be in jail. Somebody uncle or somebody dad or somebody mom be in jail. They'll send me a card. They'll send me a card and a picture like, yo, I just put this. What can you put the, you know what I'm saying, the mural on the card? Now go to school, draw it, go back to the block. Hey, bro, you think this cool? They're like, oh
wow,
man, that is so beautiful. I used to color pencils, shading. Man, drawing was my thing, but rapping took over the drawing part.
Yeah, what age do you think that was?
Sorry to cut you off. You started saying that's the first time you saw a dead body. So like,
yeah. So let me get back to that. So this guy that was in the crew, it was some local crew. It wasn't the FCR crew, but it was some other crew that was in Milwaukee that actually didn't like the FCR. But he actually taught me how to like control the can or whatever. And I was like 12, 13 before I even thought about a Minnesota. So I'm still in Milwaukee, and I used to be on the north side, smoking, dealing. I had a homeboy, excuse me about that. I had a homeboy downstairs from my mom. They used to let me go run this little crap. Now, I was naive to the fact I just wanted some Jordans. I just wanted a new shirt. I just wanted a new hat. You know what I mean? A nice little chain, a watch. You know what I mean? Something that give me some girls around this. I was naive to the fact that I know I can get a profit from this guy. So he used to give me a little pack, and I used to know my aunties, my cousins, people that I used to know just from the block away from I used to know, and sold them, give them their profit back. They give me a little thing, and woo. But in spare time, I will write and draw and do these little spray things. I'm like, man, what you doing with a spray can in your backpack? Like, man, look, I'm about to go spray. So this guy, it was like maybe in November, December or something like that. It was cold as so much snow. We went on top of this mill in Milwaukee, and he was teaching me how to do this little piece that I drew. So he was like, yo, I think that would be cold up here in this top. I'm going to help you, and I'm going to make you get to the next level. Not knowing this guy is a legend in the city.
Wow.
And he was teaching me, woo. He had these things and these utensils at the edge of the building. So while he was telling me, yo, you go finish that piece, I finna go get these little, I finna go get some more cans. I'm like, all right, cool. So while I'm over here trying to get this piece together, all I hear was, ah! And I look over and he wasn't there, and I look down, he's way down there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh. And you said
And now it's
12 years old, 13
Yeah, I
years
was
old.
13, 14. You know what I mean?
That like changed your whole life.
yeah, it was really traumatic for me. That's the first dead body I saw. Like this motherfucker flew.
And you seen it, and you were just talking.
And I was just trying to pull a piece together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That piece is long gone now. So I mean, the guy, all I heard was "duh,"
That's so scary.
and it was just like, you know how
you never
those
forget that.
yeah, I'll never forget that. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the echo right there. And I looked over and that motherfucker was way down there. Now I'm getting down. Beats me.
Get me out of here. Yeah.
I went the down. It was about 15 flights.
Yeah.
And I went to my mom, my sisters, and they all didn't believe me. They all didn't believe
Oh,
me.
no.
They just like, I ain't trying. So, and then around that time more, I seen a other friend of mine overdose on me. And this is an older guy that I used to get the drugs from to get my little FUBU shirts and little shorts and little Reebok classics or whatever from, you know what I mean? I'm naive. I don't know no better. I could probably just be a partner with this guy, but he just helping me out because moms wouldn't give it to me. So I'm out here boosting for him and stealing cars and car stereos for this guy, getting little to peanuts. But I was cool with it though, because at school I wasn't getting jumped. Everybody be like, "What's up, Kendrick?" You know what I mean? What's going on? You know what I mean? I'm cool. But then he overdosed on me.
Yeah.
So this is all in the same year.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
so
can
scary.
imagine it.
So I'm just like, all right, Granny, I gotta call Pops. Because my mama's side is in Milwaukee and my daddy's side is in Minnesota. So now I gotta go to another environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
start.
I can't go here. I'm gonna around and die here. I'm already scared of from seeing somebody just drop from a 15-story building.
What a
Like,
weird
what the bro? And I'm young knowing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some young person will be naive to the fact.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just don't even have no type of conscious of what just happened. But I did.
And that's one hell of a way to wrap up the Wisconsin chapter.
We're
Yeah.
sitting down with the coat, Ken C. Contagious here on DogStar.
Follow him on Instagram, Contagious.
Yeah, I didn't want to make it so deep, but I just want to
And
just make it
follow us at
real
DogStar.
of why I came
We'll be
to
right-
Minnesota.
Right, we'll be right
back.
Bow wow.
Wow.
Welcome back to DogStar.
We're sitting down with Kenzie, Contagious. We just were getting to where you're moving out of Wisconsin to Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
And you were mentioning a little bit off mic, a close friend of yours passed away in like 9th grade.
Yeah. It was my first near-death experience because I thought I was going to die with him. You know what I mean? It was a bad drug deal. And it was actually a friend that it was like, you know how you just been in high school, you just meet somebody that you just kind of cool with, you just see up in, lunchroom here and there. Then, maybe after school, you might see up at the bus stop or he might pull up and, oh, man, you got a car? Oh, hey, pull up, come, you know what I'm saying, come through. Take you to a couple parties, take you to whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just building this friendship with this guy, you know what I mean? Just a cool guy. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden it be one of those days again and, hey man, I'm finna go around the corner and, you know what I mean? I'm finna go get some, you know what I'm saying? Go do what I gotta do. All right, cool, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll be right here. And all of a sudden you hear, whoa, oh, and here he comes running around the corner and, whoa. Right in front of me, he's just, whoa, and here's the guy that's going, and he's aiming at me, and all of a sudden, nothing's there, so he runs away. That could have been me too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Those type of situations. So that kind of fucked me up real completely. So that was around like 14, 15, and I told Granny, like, look, I gotta go holler at Pops and see where he at. And I thought he was in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He messed around and be in Minnesota. I don't know anything about Minnesota. So, hey, something new, something clean slate. And this is early on. I need something new. I don't want to die. I don't want to go to jail. I'm out of here.
Right.
He said, let's go. I'm gone. So he was up here, St. Paul, Minnesota.
13, 14.
14, 15, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And you know, it was a off and on thing, you know what I mean? I'd come up here, go back to Milwaukee, go over there. Nah, I want to go back to my dad's, go back up here, whatever. But that altercation right there made me come up here permanently. Like,
Wow.
yo, look, I can't do this no more. You know what I mean? That was a traumatizing situation. I already had one, seeing somebody doing, you know what I'm saying, trying to guide me in, and I see somebody fall off a building. Like, whoa. You know what I mean? This is
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's a little one too many bodies. I gotta go.
Get me out of here.
I gotta get up out of here.
And then were you saying that that's the kind of the same time that writing songs came into play?
Yeah, because I was just on the verge of just, you know, just kind of like freestyling and doing ciphers and things, but I had this big old green binder of just all types of paper in there, about 500 pages of paper.
Oh.
And you can ask any of my family members, of my sisters, brothers, aunties, grandma, all of them used to just see me with this green binder all the time. And I carried it on in Minnesota here with, and my dad was like, yo, we gotta do something with that binder and put you on to something.
Yeah.
And I ain't know what a studio was. I ain't know what a beat machine was. None of that. I just like to write. I just like to rhyme. Writing, you know what I mean? My people used to tell me like, yo, Pac used to always write. He always used to keep a journal or some type of thing. All these writers, Nas, Biggie, they used to always keep their stuff on the pad. You always keep your stuff on the pad. So I didn't know about the studio part. Just always the pad. So
Right.
I just love to write, love to draw, write, draw. That was it.
And then did you have a rapper name other than Contagious when you first started out?
Yeah. It wasn't Ken C per se, but Ken C, funny but true, that was always with my uncle when I was about 3, 4, 5 years
What?
old. You know what I mean? Used to always call me little Ken C right here, little Ken C. Because it was short with my name right there. So he's like little Ken C and Ken C and Kitty C. And I used to love when he called me that. So rest in peace, my Uncle Rush. We called him Rush because he had an adrenaline like no other, but his real name is Emmanuel.
Oh.
But we always called him Rush. Dreadhead, first dreadhead I ever met. First person that actually taught me how to cook when I was 7 years old. And that was crazy because they thought I was cooking noodles. No, that ain't the bubbles of noodles. That was a bubble for him.
Professor Rush.
Yeah,
Professor Rush.
that part. So, rest in peace, my Uncle Rush.
Wow.
That was the guy, and he actually died here.
In Minnesota.
You know how the bridges go up like that? He had a go-kart and he was trying to go over, and he.
Some evil Knievel.
What?
Yeah, bro.
What?
He had an
Living up
adrenaline
to
like
the
no
name.
other. He had an adrenaline like no other.
Wow.
At least that's what my auntie told me. So, rest in peace, Rush.
Yeah.
That part. And I'm in Milwaukee with this.
But Ken C wasn't the first name, or there was
Nah. The first name, I actually had like Adidas. I had Truthful.
Okay.
I had this name that I promise you, it might go viral, but people ain't gonna believe me though. But people used to always in Spanish class call me K. Cole. Ain't that crazy?
Who had K Dot first?
Who had K. Dot and who's at the Cole in there? You would think of a Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole album would come with some K. Cole in some 1994, 95.
Collaborative album, yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is me in elementary school going to middle school, having that in the name tag on your desk, K. Cole. But anyway, Ken C always stuck with me.
Okay.
Like, Ken C always stuck with me. So whenever I go on a cipher or whatever like that, I'll always say like Ken or, hey, yo, I'm Ken Cole. And it was like, nah, man, you little Ken C right there. So everybody used to like that Ken C thing.
Okay.
So Ken C just stuck. And it was like, well, so what the C for? And I was like, oh, it can mean a collective of things. I'm cold. I'm creative. I'm charismatic. I'm creative. I'm, just anything with that C up in there. So I felt like that C was more than just my last name.
Yeah,
right.
It was just whatever. But everybody always say I'm cold. So I'm in the Midwest. It's barely a summer here. I'm always cold. So, and I love coats. So I'm cold. So that's what it is. I never even knew I was a hot rapper per se. I didn't even want to be in the hot rapper category. So I'll be cold.
The coldest of all time.
The coldest of all time. I don't have to be great. I don't have to be the best. That's what the people can decide. And it's always for the fans to decide.
Exactly.
It's not you. You can call yourself the greatest or the you know how many goats there is out here? Yeah. It's crazy. But the people ain't say that. You gotta have the people to decipher that. But I know for a fact, as hot as a rapper think they is, I'm cold as well. And I'm from a place where it's be that way, and not only be that way, there's a person that's that way. So I'm cold, bro. Let me get that out the way. Let me get that out the way. I'm cold.
And just a reminder, try not to swear.
And then, I was gonna ask, did you start making beats in Milwaukee, or did that all start in Minnesota?
Everything started in Minnesota.
That's cool.
Everything. I don't know what it was when, because it started in 2000. In 2000, when I literally legit came here. So that was about 15, 16. So now my dad was like, look, we got to go put that little green binder of yours into some use.
Yes.
We got to get into whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how he was going to do that. He was just talking just to talk. Sometimes he just be talking to talk.
Dad.
You know what I mean? And yeah, that's just my pops. Shout out to my pops. But he wasn't that pops that like literally like came around and like got at me on my rhymes. It was just an idea of his.
Yeah.
So it was all timing. So it was a Christmas the first year I moved in with him. And I was in like around 99, started 2000. It was that 99 Christmas. And the social worker came in and was like, all right, what do y'all want for Christmas? It was me, the wife at the time that he was with, son, and her 3 nephews. So it was more than just me.
Yeah.
So I kept it simple and it was like, look, I just want a keyboard so I can, you know what I'm saying, do music.
Yeah.
Because I used to, you know what I'm saying, mess with the keyboard back in Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? I had, you know, a few family members that was musically inclined. They used to be in church. They had drums, keyboards, whatever. I used to touch it. I get up for touching it, but hey, that was me. I was musically inclined. I was trying to just mimic a Biggie beat from Life After Death. That was me. But I go to Minnesota, he you know, got the social worker to ask every kid up in there, hey, what y'all want for Christmas? You know what I mean? They want some toys, they want whatever. I said, I want a keyboard. So they couldn't afford the keyboard that I want, but they said there's a studio down the street. Now, mind you, I wasn't even in St. Paul. I was in Brainerd, Minnesota.
Whoa.
Yeah,
So the
in
odds of
central
it being,
Minnesota.
Yeah.
So
studio
this is
there.
where Ken C was born. Like the artist Ken C in Brainerd, Minnesota.
Whoa.
So my dad told the social worker, all right, cool, we got the, you know what I'm saying, this is what all they want. So she must have came back like 2 weeks prior before Christmas came. And was like, all right, she came back with presents, whatever, and gave my dad a like little check of like $100 for like a Music General spot for studio time.
Wow.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
I didn't know what studio time mean. I don't know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
Hey son, all right, here we go. I'm like, well, where's the keyboard? And he was like, nah, we about to
Right.
go to the studio,
Yeah.
bring your book, whatever. I go there. It was some guy that's from that runs the place from Brainerd.
Yeah.
And the place is called Music General. He has a music program and Fruity Loops. This is back when Fruity Loops 1 came out.
Oh, dang.
Just the first Fruity Loops. So I'm in front of this and the, you know, storyboard and, you know, just like, what is all this? This microphone, I don't know what is going on. But that sparked everything. And he turned that $100 to maybe about $3,000 worth of studio time.
Wow.
And he in mind the other time. Like
Right.
he was inspired my ambition. Like he was like,
Yeah.
bro, I see you really want to do this. Okay, I teach you how to do whatever. He gave me the program. He told me where to go get it at Best Buy. I went and bought it. Whatever. Got me a little job. Did what I had to do. And from there, I ain't look back on this.
Oh
Wow,
my
gosh.
gosh.
And yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So the earliest song, we were digging for songs. So the earliest song, Contagious.
Contagious.
The Kenzie, the Loud EP is the earliest.
Holy
that
shit. That's like near 10 years ago.
So
Whoo, I'm showing my age right now.
that was sweet. And so yeah, you're making beats, but you're also inspired by like the mixtape era. So you're
Yes.
doing like mixtapes, jacking for beats, like
Mm-hmm.
doing it all at this point. And then yeah, I mean in the just because where we're at in time, we're probably gonna fly through this.
Oh yeah,
discography. So
fly
get
through,
ready for
fly through.
the time machine. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
so 2012 was the Loud EP, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Then we've got the Canon Freestyle. Are you locking in with other artists up in that Brainerd area who are going to that studio, or where are you meeting these?
Oh
collaborators?
man, that's a big fast forward. But that right there was about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when I was really tapped in on the collaboration part with Schoolboy Entertainment.
That's right.
So we,
Yeah. So that was a record label, the independent record label established here in St. Paul, Minneapolis, by Ryan Filer and a guy named Drew Hatfield, aka Stress. So I was in Fargo at the time with my first son, and I was coming from Brainerd. Like I said, I started with Brainerd, and I was doing my little thing there for about maybe 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Got my son 2006, and I don't know where this is gonna go. And I'm gonna fast forward this real quick. I'm not gonna put y'all to a whole story. So when I had my son, I had a crew there, and I was always the type of guy that was like, you know, laughed at because I was using the Fruity Loops and all these things that everybody today is using. But back then, we was using Fruity Loops when it was really the first Fruity Loops and Fruity Loops 2, 3, 4.
Wow.
I was watching all this, structure up to Logic, then Reason, then all these other programs. I was tapped in. You know how many computers and hard drives out and crashed and lost and all types of files and just... Man, I done recorded and recorded and recorded.
Yeah,
so fast forward.
Well, is there any songs that people can listen to now before the loud?
Yes. Because it's definitely all in SoundCloud and all in the Bandcamp.
Right.
And even on my YouTube as well, Contagious. Everything is Contagious. KENTAGEOUS. And the way I actually sing it on my verses is the way people actually remember how to spell it.
Right.
So it's just KENTAGEOUS. And they're like, oh, I know how to spell that. So that's how they always know how to get to the YouTube, get to my SoundCloud, get to my Bandcamp, any other websites, even iTunes. So fast forward.
Sorry to interrupt. Instagram at Contagious651. Follow us at DogStar Podcast. We're going to be right back with more Ken C, with more Contagious. Working our way through the discography here on DogStar.
Bow wow.
Bow
wow.
Bow.
Bow wow.
Bow wow. Welcome back to DogStar.
We're sitting down with Ken C. About to be what's available on like the Spotify discography.
Oh yeah, right there.
Running it down. So we found the Cannon Freestyle, I guess. That's SoundCloud. Then you did the Turn on Lake Street, Mike the Martyr Beats.
Yes, sir.
The Dream Chaser, another Jackin' for Beats.
Schoolboy Entertainment.
Schoolboys. Still repping the crew. Everybody's still somewhat together at that point.
Well, with the Schoolboy thing now we about to fast forward to things.
Right.
So around like 2014, 15, 16, we had a nice little run with what you mentioned, the Lake Street series.
Yeah, a bunch of singles.
The Cannon Freestyles and all those things,
tapes.
right? So then things came to a turn when I put out the Pleasure Project in 2015. So going on 2016, the crew kind of dismantled.
Gotcha.
So Schoolboy was kind of no more.
Just creative differences.
And creative differences, financial differences, and actually inspirational differences, because things got a little emotional. So, fast forward, we go to 2017, 18.
I mean, 2017, what is it, 420 you dropped the Underground single. And that's just being like, hey, don't forget, and then boom, the Book of Bars and
we had to go to God's work. And I had to tap in with what the new generation was forming in the Twin Cities with the Vinnie Crooks and the Juice Lords and the KPWs and the Nuckies and the Reefer Reeds and it's a lot of people just coming out, man, and it lets you know that you ain't alone being the coldest either, man. These some cold individuals too, but I've been getting very, very fans of, like, hold on, man, I gotta go step my little game up right quick. So let me put God into this situation. So I had to go tap in and use Instagram as well to tap in with people like Alchemist for real, indirect. So I got the green light to get not only with the Alchemist, but with Jake One and the guy named Budgie, with all these little gospel beats that they were like putting out, these instrumental tapes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, yo, nobody ain't rapping to this?
Right.
Oh, I gotta get busy. So I took the instrumental tapes and really got tapped into my own gospel, my own little Negro spiritual, and convey my display of rhymes on a whole nother level than what I usually do.
Yeah.
Because I usually like to just like speed rap, do like the twist inspired raps, tap in with the like trap beats, you know what I mean, like drilly beats. Because if you really want to think about it, in Midwest, that's where the drill comes in anyway. It didn't come from the Bronx. It didn't come from Pop Smoke or none of that. It came right here from Midwest. So if we want to go into the regional aspect, that's what I was tapped into. But with the God's work thing, I really had to get back into the loopy, the loopy bars that Alchemist was doing and Jake One was doing. So shout out to those guys. And I kind of low-key kind of had to steal them, but again, that's me inspired with the mixtape eras of the Lil Waynes and the 50 Cents and the Cam'rons, when they was putting out them tapes where they took people beats and they were putting their own interpretation up in there. So that's where God's work came in.
That's nice. And yeah, that was a sweet 2 projects. And then 2018, 2019 is the Killa Influence. And that's where you're getting into like the thematic releases, like, because it's the Pink Project first and then the Purple Project.
And then the Purple Project next.
Yes.
Now, what people don't know, because when you said the Dream Chase earlier, you know what I mean? Now, that's where the whole characteristics of my whole alias of Ken C, a.k.a. Contagious, and then a.k.a. The Code, and all that come in. So, like, Ken C is the guy that goes into the original formats of his own beats or other producers' beats and making records and making commercial hits or commercial songs or whatever.
Yeah.
When you got Contagious, now he goes and taps into other people beats and other people things that they already have done.
Yeah.
Like the Killa Influence. I had to tap into Cam'ron's beats. So that was one of my influence. Dream Chase, I had to go tap into Meek Mill because he was a dream chaser. Or the 6 tape, I had to go tap into 666 with Drake and tap into his. Or the Hood Kid Cold World, I had to go tap in with Kendrick and J. Cole. So it was all inspired series of mixtapes that I put out as well as original music.
And I got the dates mixed up on that. Sorry.
No,
didn't
it's
come
cool.
out until 21. Before that was Leo.
Leo. Yeah, man. And that project, I actually produced the whole entire thing.
Say that again.
Yeah, I produced the whole entire Leo, and that's
so
actually
sick.
out on everywhere: Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, YouTube. That project to me is like my most personal and most favorite project that I actually ever done.
Wow.
I mean, we're not even halfway through.
Yeah, keep
it's
going.
Like, there's bound to be more favorites. We got the Third Sermon in 2020. Then, like I said, the Purple Project in 2021.
Yeah,
and then now that it's
cool.
2021, that's a big year.
Yeah, that was a big
Huge
year for me, man. I had to really go for the gusto because, you know, with the pandemic thing, I seen everybody is going all out and going all for their hearts all around the Twin Cities and even all around the world. Everybody was going all for it for the music.
Yeah.
Everybody was putting out their best work or even putting out most work or even just being just more consistent or just putting out quality work.
Right.
And that inspired me. You know what I mean? So I wanted to be in the conversation too. So let me go put out the Killa Influence first. You know what I mean? Get them a mixtape and then get them the Obituary, which I produced the whole thing for that one and had produced other producers as well on that one. So I had to put original projects and inspired projects in there too, just to let people know that not only don't put me in the mixtape category, don't put me in no type of box. Just recognize Ken C as an artist. You know what I mean?
August of 2021, the collaborative project with Breadsmith.
The
Can't forget about
random
that.
EP.
The
Hey,
random
shout out
EP.
to Brad Smith, man. See, look, he's gonna watch this and he gonna be like, oh man, you ain't gonna look. That one was really, really special because it was like a 4-year prior before we even actually put that out.
Right, because the single came out in like
yeah.
2017.
Exactly. So when we was
Underground.
saving that up, we didn't even know what we even had.
Whoa.
So when he seen the run that I was going with the Killer Influence and the Obituary thing, he was like, yo, we gotta come out and put these songs out because it was very out of the ordinary that I was doing. Like I said, I was doing Alchemist type beats and the whole Jake ones and just boom bappy, but nobody didn't know I could tap in with the drill beats or come through with like a metro type beat. So the random EP with me and Brad Smith was kind of like oh man, that could have been your project, but nah. We just gonna sit it right here for something special because I like to do random things. You know what I mean?
And
So,
then we're about to say
Oh my bad. Yeah.
I was just about to ask you, what was going on between the Obituary and then you didn't drop anything until 2023?
With the Obituary.
What happened in between?
between the random EP and the
Because it
Cold
seemed,
EP.
because what might have seemed like that was, Obituary, death.
It was because it was originally gonna be called. It was gonna originally be called The Deaf Can't See.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was.
Got about
it
2
was
minutes left.
weird.
Oh no.
It was weird, and I wanted to kill the whole thing because I knew I was gonna evolve to something else, which is why I came out with the Kendrick Cole EP recently.
Yes.
Basically
So-
1 year ago.
Yep,
Yeah.
1 year ago, and
Your representative sent us 2 tracks, Never Give You Up, the 3rd track, and No Parking, the 7th track off of the Kendrick Cole EP. What can you
Yup.
tell us about those 2 tracks? We've got about maybe
yeah,
30
shout out
seconds.
to Kid Called Quest, a guy out in Rochester/Buffalo, New York.
Oh.
That actually we collabed real good
How'd
with
you meet
just
him?
one of my mans out in Fargo when I used to stay out in Fargo. He actually A&R'd it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he brought me to this producer and he was listening to the God's work and he was like, yo, who is this guy?
Yeah.
He was like, yo, man, this is Ken C out of, St. Paul. I think you guys should be a nice little match. So me and Kid Called Quest just started emailing me all these beats, all these loopy beats just from him listening to the God's work. And I'm just like, man, look, we need to get on ahead and just go do a project then.
Yeah.
But then he found out how my real name was. He was like, yo, I like that Kendrick Cole thing right there. How about we just do it just called the Kendrick Cole EP?
Oh.
So we went on ahead. I must have recorded about 30 tracks at DJ D Mill. Shout out to DJ D Mill Studio. And we picked 9 of them out
Narrowed
of
it
the
down
30.
to 9.
Narrowed it down to 9.
You're about to hear Never Give You Up,
Yeah.
the 3rd track, and No Parking, the 7th track off of the Kendrick Cole EP. Thank you so much, Ken C,
Yes,
for coming
sir.
through, chatting with us, chatting with fans.
Yeah, and shout out to St. Paul, shout out to Minneapolis, shout out to the whole Minnesota for even supporting, listening, bootlegging, downloading, just even tapping in or even know who I am or even hating who I am. Thank you so much. It's so much salute. 40 years of this, man. Hip hop never stops.
This has been Ken C on DogStar.
Bow wow.
It's culture, man. Can't give it up even if I want to. Michael Jackson was God, Machiavelli was Jesus, Nasty Nas was a prophet, he invented the ether, Biggie Smalls was a legend, Scarface was a preacher, Lil' Kim was my crush, can't forget about Trina. I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for y'all, if it wasn't for Ho, if it wasn't for Pun. Double XL in the source was like my holy Quran. This thing of ours was in my life way before I was born. Mama said I was singing way before I could talk. My first love was graffiti, that was all I would draw. I would practice my pieces, I would bomb a few walls. Got myself in some trouble, even broken some laws. Started breaking in school till I fucked up my wrist. Wanted to be a DJ, but ain't know how to mix. Started studying rappers, kept my ear to the streets. This was back in the 90s when I started to dream. This culture really saved my life and allowed me to grow. This is all that I have, this is all that I know. This culture really saved my life and allowed me to grow. This is all that I have, this is all that I know. That's why I'm never gonna give you up. No, no, I cannot do that, man. Can't give it up. That's why I'm never gonna give you up. Shoot, send me, not on me. Yeah. Michael Jordan was God, always wanted his sneakers. Slick Rick was the ruler, Dougie Fresh was the speaker. Rakim was Allah, he said follow the leader. DMX was my heart, he was also my teacher. I don't know what I do, even still to this day. If it wasn't for Snoop, if it wasn't for Dre, always glued to the tube. I was watching the box, seeing Puff and the family, shiny suits and the yachts. Became a student of the game, I was really a fan. As a teen, I was influenced by 50 and Cam. I was playing with guns, even sold a few bags. Wore a lot of athletic gear, you would thought I was fast. Rap City, the basement, made me go in the booth. This is back when my Uncle Jamal got me into the roots. Always wanted to shine, so I got me a chain. Used to go to the record store when I wanna escape. This culture really saved my life and allowed me to grow. This is all that I have, this is all that I know. This culture really saved my life and allowed me to grow. This is all that I have, this is all that I know. That's why I'm never gonna give you up. No, no. How can I do that, man? That's why I'm never gonna give you up. I can't get that shit up. No. 1, 2. It sounds so nice. Hip hop, you the love of my life. 1, 2. It sounds so nice. Hip hop, you the love of my life. You the love of my life. Pages. Hey, Quest, you got one. Whoa. I'm just trying to find me a spot to park, man. Where's the spot at? You know, give me some blunts, some squares. Never park nowhere. Oh, I think I see one right there. I see one. Oh, we good. In the parking lot, trying to find a parking spot somewhere on the east side. That's where all the G's hide. Sitting in the sweet ride, rolling up some key lime strand. Stuff a swisher with at least 5 grand. So see the homie, what it be like, fam? He wanted to kill, but I told that nigga to chill because police right there. You know they like to pull the piece out here. I'm about to hit the street so I can meet up with this freak Roxanne. She used to live out with her mama, Minnehaha, in the basement. Now she work at Benihana as a waitress. I told her if her side did give her any problems, I'll replace them. All you gotta do is holler at Contagious. Posted at the station where the people pump their gas at. Staring at her, starting giving me a flashback. Just when I was about to get her info on the Snapchat, I overheard her like someone's getting blasted. Please be careful when you trying to find a parking spot. You never know what's going down in these parking lots. Anything can go down in the parking lot. Anything can go down in the parking lot. Please be careful when you trying to find a parking spot. You never know what's going on in these parking lots. Anything can go down in the parking lot. Anything can go down in the parking lot. In the parking lot, trying to find a parking spot somewhere on the south side. All the hope be outside. Now I think it's about time to get up with this housewife Cheryl. I never felt the woman mouth like hers. She said she still work at Popeyes. Word, I need to visit more. She knows Chicago Lake, my favorite liquor store. Usually I sip Patron, but now I got the Henny port. And my cousin Kia bumping Weezy, we a titty boy. And I got my 2 chains on. My smile crooked like the dude J. Cole, but still sharper than the Wu-Tang sword. Even though I got on Tuesday clothes, and it's a Saturday. Just got a message from my mans about it at the place. Cool, you know the vibes, I'm about to slide through. Put the Addy on the GPS and I'ma find you. First I have to make a stop to more liquors, but before I went and turned into the lot, I heard a piss. Just be careful when you trying to find a parking spot. You never know what's going down in these parking lots. Anything can go down in the parking lot. Anything can go down in the parking lot. Please be careful when you trying to find a parking spot. You never know what's going on in these parking lots. Anything can go down in the parking lot. Anything can go down in the parking lot.